Good morning, guys. We get all the alerts out for the stream here, and then we can get right into our analysis for pre-market. Welcome in, everyone. Please refresh the page. I can't. All right, should be all set now. Good morning, Arvin. How you doing? All right, we'll wait for the stream to get popping here a little bit, and then we'll cover what we did last night. I had quite the night last night. What's going on, Freedom? Before we get started for the day, Freedom, we can cover that question you sent me last night, if you have time right now, or this morning, rather. Afternoon for you. So you were wondering the stat that you're looking at. I wouldn't do it on MNQ. I would do it on Qs, QQQ, as opposed to MNQ. And looking for the gap, it's just right down here in the bottom right. You see how it says you're not looking at what the day did. I think MNQ is why you're unable to see what the gap is as well. You're not concerned with what the day did. You're concerned with where it says pre-market. So down here in the bottom right, it says pre-market 0.02, 0.00%. That's your gap for the day. SPY, we're sitting at 0.16. I'll pull up another screen for gold as well. Gold should be sitting at like 2.5 or 3%, whatever ridiculous move it made overnight. Gold is sitting at 2.4 pre-market. So that's a $12 gap. You don't really worry about the dollar amount. You're just looking for the percent in the bottom right. And if you are on the futures indice, so if you're looking at MGC or if you're looking at MNQ, it's not going to tell you what the gap is. It just tells you what it is from midnight open last night. I think it's from midnight open. It might be from Globex open. Either way, it's not telling you the accurate read that you're looking for. It's telling you what it is from like 6 a.m. or midnight last night. And we are just looking for the 4 a.m. to current open stat. Sorry, we're looking from the previous close to today's open, current open, which our close yesterday on gold was 494. We're opening at 506 right now. And that's the gap. Yep. Yeah, correct. That's what another reason why I always use QQQ, because it's a lot easier to go and find what the gap fill is, what the gap stat is. Correct. Yep, they're the same thing. So there's no, they may be off by a couple of cents, if that. Edgeful doesn't seem to want to open for me right now. Yep, correct. So you're going to first one. Yep, 0.0.19. Correct. Yep. That's okay. Questions need answers. What's going on, guys? Good morning, Rag. How you doing? I actually haven't tried the 25K funded next one. I posted you can scroll back on that giveaway, ISAN trades. I posted it on Sunday at 1, 12:56. I was a little early. It wasn't quite 1. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing? It's a high chance of blowing my 25K account. How to even trade one MGC when it's moving 100 pips in 5 minutes on MGC? That's $100. Yeah, last night was ridiculous. So I managed to catch the tail end of the move. They unlocked trading. If you guys weren't aware, yesterday, Tradeify, Apex, and Lucid all blocked. Well, rather, Tradeovate did, but they all went and blocked trading. Specifically for that window into close yesterday. So they blocked trading, I think, from right when the issue happened. So 9:15, 9:30 yesterday. They blocked it all the way until 2:30. And then they unlocked it at you could still trade if you wanted to, but they advised that you didn't. And then they officially unlocked, or they removed the ban of trading at 3:00. So yesterday I took a few trades at 3. Those trades were just on gold at 3. Gold made a ridiculous, it was like a 200-point run last night, 540 to 560. 5,400 to 5,600 in the first 30 minutes of Globex Open last night. 35-ish, maybe even 40, but at the 45-minute mark, we came all the way back down to 5,500. It was ridiculous last night. And unfortunately, I was not at my computer, so I missed the opening longs. I was looking to long Globex Open because the past 5 nights we've had the same 50-point, 60-point pop on Globex. Missed it, unfortunately. I was out getting some groceries, but when I came back, we were at that pullback level at 5,500. So I ended up just having the best day I've ever had on these Apex accounts. $492 last night, and I didn't have a loss. I scratched that. I did have one loss on M&Q. I tried a short, and sad thing is it ended up working out. I just got in at a bad time. I was targeting down to 26-1. But the gold move that we were having last night, this is on the 15-minute time frame again. So these were pretty much all just waiting for pullbacks. I don't usually highlight the entries, but I think it's pretty important that everyone sees you absolutely do not need to be trading size, especially when gold is moving like this. I actually stumbled upon, I'm sure a lot of other people did, if you were on TikTok around 9:30, 9 o'clock last night, there was a guy that was trading silver. He was doing 25 micro silver contracts, which was, I mean, it's the same as doing 2.5 silver contracts. He made 11,000 and then proceeded to lose all of it. For whatever reason, he realized that the $11,000, it was probably on a paper account, so obviously no worry there. But even if it was a paper account, he made 11,000, said he was done, and then immediately entered back in, said that he won 15,000, and then ended up losing the entire 11,000 and blowing the account. So it might have been an eval, might have been funded, but these are all, you do not need to be trading size when gold is making a 78-point wick on a 15-minute time frame. If we go down to the 1 minute, actually I'll go down to the 5 minute, show it a little bit better. If we go down to the 5 minute, this was a absolutely disgusting, just gross 5529. It was a 100-point 5-minute candle, and then it came all the way back down 75 points on the next candle, next 5 minute. So one GC contract on that move is $10,000 up, 7,500 down. Most firms, you're not going to be able to request that amount anyway, unless you're on a live account, and I guess it's a little different. But especially copy trading over multiple accounts, one micro. I was in this one that I'm highlighted on. This was my biggest one from last night. I was in this for maybe 40 seconds, if that. That's how fast gold was moving last night. So $189 in maybe 40 seconds. And then all these other ones were like 60 to 30. And these were just because I had my trailing stop get hit. I should have moved the trailing stop a little bit more, because sad part is all these trades, I wouldn't have had to place the probably other 3 or 4 if I had just held the original one, because all these other trades ended up going another $200 per that one micro contract. But when will you request the payout on these? I'm going to be looking for, I'd like to get up to the 30,000. So I need to make another 500. Next Monday or Tuesday is when I can request it. So I have 2 trading days to make $500. I don't have to make $500. I still have that personal loss limit set, so I won't blow the accounts. But at the same time, I could also just take 20,000 out right now. So I'm up in the air what I want to do. If I just want to flip 2 more trading days, take 1 trade, exit 1 trade, or if I want to not even think about it and keep trading the way I have been. Because this has been, and this shows it plenty enough right here. Obviously, I did take 6 trades last night on all the pullbacks. And really the only, 7 trades. The only reason that I did was because I kept logging into Apex. I was worried that I left the limit order in. So I logged in every like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I kept getting a little paranoid. And then I ended up taking another trade because it pulled back. And I had all these trades also, they all had a 5-point stop. So each one of these trades had a $50 risk. And then I almost immediately trailed the stop loss to break even. Did miss a pretty significant chunk of change on some of them, but besides the point. So, yep. No, this is all in the 15-minute. The 1 minute time frame, I still think it gives you too much. This might actually show it a little bit better what my entries and exits were. We got 11 last night. So I wasn't, you can see I wasn't in the trades very long. This is a 1 minute candle. It was like 30 seconds that made $70. And all of them had no drawdown with them. But the 1 minute time frame, I think it gives you too much urgency. So when you're in the 1 minute time frame, you're really just worried about how fast. I guess I had a much bigger one. I had a $280 one micro right there. Wow. Forgot about that one. And this was only like 2 minutes. The chart's updating too fast. So your fight or flight response is going crazy. Each one of these candles, I don't think the time frame matters too much, but I think being on a 15-minute time frame and not seeing the chart jump every close and then have a wick up, wick down, jump, and so on and so forth. I stay on the 15-minute time frame, maybe even the 5-minute. That's the lowest that I would go. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if the 1 minute's working for you, you can do that. The reason I like the 15-minute is because you can see where a valid level is. The 1 minute might invalidate it repeatedly, but I like seeing wicks with sweeps at those levels. Yep. I gotcha. All right, real quick, we're going to review what our setups going into today are. So we did end up filling that previous day in London gap that we formed yesterday. Also filled this one later after the IB broke. We did get a really nice short to the IB. Unfortunately, with trade of 8 being down, we did not have the ability to trade it. But this was about as perfect as it can get for an IB short. Perfect 50% rejection, albeit it was only 50 points, still $100. Low risk on that one as well. FOMC was a nothing burger yesterday. We had absolutely no indication of future rate cuts. CME also kind of priced that in. So we go to CME Fed Watch. They didn't have any indication of what we were expecting for our next quarter, our next FOMC meeting. So that one will be in March 18th. No indication, really unchanged on the rates. This is pricing an 86% chance that we get no change. Our next significant bump is not until June, and this one's sitting at like a 50-50. So probably no rate cuts for the foreseeable future. They don't start getting significant really until October. Obviously still 12%, but then we have all these spreads, 0.5% chance that we go down to 225, which would be something else. So going over to our price action for yesterday, we have our previous day's high, previous day's low formed with the earnings wick. So this one's a little tricky with that wick low. This was off of Microsoft. Microsoft ended up tanking on earnings. They ended up wicking all the way down to 8% in the red on that first maybe minute or two on the earnings report, and then they're opening the day at 7. The only reason that we're not gapped down is because Meta inversed that whole move. They actually ended up putting more of a gain on than Microsoft lost. Meta added about 200 billion, 300 billion in market cap yesterday, and Microsoft ended up losing about 400 billion. But thanks to the weightings on those and the percent moves, Microsoft and Meta really just cancel each other out. Tesla also added on 2 Qs. So Tesla was gapped up 4%, only up 1.4 now. So that one helped with the weighting. Tesla is still a $1.5 trillion company. So those two combined outweighed what Microsoft did for a dump. Going over to our previous day's 50, add in our London 50. There's our range for today. Now for the inside bar, this is for my model, the previous day's 50 and London 50. For our inside bar, that's our low, 631.82, and our high is 636.60. So we're about 60% of the way towards the low. More likely that we go and take that level out, 631.82. SPY also within pretty much smack dab in the middle. So this one's a little more likely, I would say, that we go up and take previous day's high. Not ideal that we see these two inversed. SPY, if it does go and take previous day's high and we see that first, whichever one of these takes the high or low first, that will drag the other asset with it. So if we see Qs go and take that previous day's low at 631.82, probably going to be targeting that previous day's low in SPY at 693.94. So either way, we'll be able to get a read on this, and vice versa. If we see SPY go and take previous day's high, we can go and target previous day's high on Qs. They usually line up with each other in that aspect. And that is, again, the inside bar stat. It has a 79% chance of happening on Qs, and it has a 80% chance of happening on SPY. So that will be what we're anticipating into the open. We were right at previous day's 50. This is with the 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. read. For previous day's regular trading hours range, that is 631.82 to 636.60. Morning, Mark. How you doing? How someone can become like me. A lot of work. A lot of losses as well. What's going on, Levi? Good morning. How you doing? Is one dragging the other stat? What if it breaks yesterday's high or yesterday's low? Qs and SPY, we are going to be looking for one of those to inverse. Well, not necessarily inverse, but if SPY goes and takes previous day's high, it will drag Qs up with it. As long as we can get over pretty much where London 50 is, I'll be happy taking a long up to 636.60. It also depends on what we get for an IB. Is the inside bar technique from Tom Hogard, because I've read it in his book, but mainly did it in the FTSE. This one, I mean, it could be. This is just the stat that's already added onto edgeful. Where did the name Mr. Zinc come from? It's my old school RuneScape name. I jump on and play that every once in a while. Speaking of, I'll actually probably have a video game to play tomorrow because they're launching a new game mode, I think. 12 o'clock. Maybe a common or a controversial topic, or maybe a common thing that people do, but I like playing video games outside of trading hours, or you could either say playing video games or having other hobbies outside of regular trading hours. If you're stuck trading, you're stuck looking at the screens, you're more than likely going to make some pretty stupid decisions. So I think you're better off finding something to do outside of where you would typically be trading. I thought this trend yesterday on gold was big enough. The move that we had from open to close, 481 all the way up to 495. I was checking my phone when I was at the grocery store, and I saw it was maybe 15 minutes into Asia session, Globex open, and gold was already up 2.5%, or 1.5%, and then ended up peaking at like 3.5% last night. It was ridiculous. 514 is what we ended up pushing all the way up to. But even then, even when gold is pushing like this, there is no reason, absolutely no reason for you guys to be shorting it. What sort of games do you play, Zinc? I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires recently. That one's a pretty good time killer. I've enjoyed playing Age of Empires. I've been playing pretty much always play RuneScape. Play COD every once in a while. But for like the past, I don't know, 3 days, I've been snowblowing like no other. Shoveling because of that storm that we got. 3 minutes to open here. Q's gap fill. We are gap down 0.3% right now, 0.03. So that is in the first bracket still. Either way, we're going to have a wick fill this gap. So this one's not really, it's not anything you're going to be able to play today. If we open, let's say we open down 40 cents in the next 2 minutes, it will almost immediately wick back up 40 cents, 26 cents. And same thing for SPY. SPY will almost immediately wick down 82 cents. Not ideal to see them countered like this, but the reason that they are is because we have this divergence on earnings. Microsoft and Meta make up a lot more in Qs. Microsoft mainly makes up a lot more in Qs than it does in SPY. And SPY has obviously got some holding in fine metals, precious metals. So gold pushing up does help SPY. Qs has no reward from that. Already took 20-point gain today on gold. Probably just going to watch. Yeah, I've made, over the past at least a month, I've probably made 90% of my plays during Asia session. And that same 90% has probably almost all of it's been on gold, because gold's been, you just wait for Glopex open and long the thing, I swear. That's been the trend for, wish I could see my levels all the way back here, but like 0118, that Sunday Glopex that we had over here. I think this was a Tuesday, actually. This was Friday going into Tuesday. We had 150-point move to open Glopex. So that's another one to capitalize on. Same thing over here. 0109 Sunday Glopex pushes up 100 points. It's ridiculous. All right, just about open here. We got 15 seconds to go. Probably done with Apex for today. I might, if anything, I'm going to take one MES, one singular micro ES. But that would be it. 3 seconds to go. We should have an almost immediate push up and fill that gap, and then just like that. And then if we want to continue to lower, but not, if you guys were able to play that, you'd have to be as fast as you can get. That was only maybe 5 seconds, if that. But that's the gap fill stat I was just talking about right there. With such a high percent of filling the gap, you almost always, and it might be because these two are countering each other, that's the issue that we have right now, but you almost always go and fill that gap immediately at open, and then you take the directional move. This one, 89, 75%, and for SPY, it should be about 90% for both. Oh, never mind, it came down quite a bit. Maybe we haven't been filling the gap as much on SPY. Either way, we already filled it on Qs. Qs just had an immediate, it was $1 wick from the low to the top, but I don't think you would have been able to capitalize on that. So what we are looking for, what I'm looking for is a move up to previous day's high or a move down to previous day's low on Qs. Whichever one of these assets ends up taking that low or high first, that's the one that the opposing one I'm going to trade. So if SPY goes and takes previous day's high, we're going to be looking for Qs to go and take previous day's high. If Qs goes and takes previous day's low, we're going to look for SPY to go and take previous day's low. That'll also line up with the gap fill on SPY. Yeah, Qs has no financials, no precious metals, no insurance either. Where can you hunt right now, Matthew? I gotta go there. Not planted in front of the feeder. This wouldn't be this open, especially with the two countering each other. This would be a foot off the gas type thing. But I think the most valid play out that we have is waiting for one of these to take previous day's high or low, vice versa. Gold again. What's going on, Atlan? How you doing? Atlay. Not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. For gold, please do not go in. Also, if you guys are trading gold, the contracts, I found this out the hard way last night. The contracts switched to MGC J6 or GC J6, and it's only on gold. But if you guys are trading gold, do not go in with any more than 1 to 2 micros, not with the momentum that we've been having. It's not worth it. How do I server mute people now? What the heck happened? All right, we did just go and take out that previous day's low, so that should drag SPY down now. We'd be looking for SPY to go and take previous day's low. SPY, the only issue is that it's smack dab in the middle of that previous day's range right now. And it does also have previous day's 50 right there, but it should get dragged down. Nice rejection off of London 50 as well. Look at that previous day's 50 drawn in. I just removed the trend line that we had. So it should go and take that previous day's low now that Q's is taking it. Q's has fulfilled its stat on the inside bar. I just gotta see what SPY wants to do. They have also both formed their IB high first, so it should guide us a little bit lower. Getting dragged way down this Q's. Gold has a monthly rollover. Yeah, I had no idea it happened last night. The first trade that I took last night was on Lucid, I think. And it was I still had MGC H6 or G6. This is the one that I was trading. And I had no idea. I didn't realize until I looked over at MGC on TradingView, and I realized that this one was trading like 60 or 70 points below what the actual price was, which right now is 55.40, and on MGC H6 it's trading at 55.03. It's also barely moving too. So the chart wasn't moving, and I saw my P&L was going up and down like 50 to $100, and it also wasn't filling my stop loss order, so I got out right away. But yes, make sure you guys are on. If you are trading golds, MGC J6 is the contract now. Yeah, we're going all the way to previous day's low. If anyone was able to take that on SPY. Vice versa, if we had taken it on SPY, would have been targeting Q's the previous day's high, but this one broke first. So we're looking for down to that wick low last night, 629 flat. That'd be the target that I would aim for. VIX is also only at 17 right now, so it's not too volatile. $3 opening candle right here on Qs is quite ridiculous. And to make sure that I don't go and put all these back at 15. It's one of the main things I don't really like about using the same windows for Trade-of-8 is that it carries over, even if I'm trading on the Apex accounts as opposed to trading on Lucid or Tradeify. It carries over the contract size I was doing. So these 20 contracts, sometimes I've accidentally forgot to click the payout group on here, and I ended up getting 20 micros on one account. So I'll probably, if I do go and take the payout, where the heck is, there we go. If I do go and take this payout, it's probably gonna have one account denied, which is okay. It might not. I did take 140 micro trade on one of these. I think it was this one right here. That's $40 ahead of the rest of them. I exited it immediately. All right, we're bouncing off previous day's 50 right now. Damn you, MSTX. Yeah, they all suck. Bull nuts. Every one of the holdings. So that wick that we just saw in gold, that push all the way down, that was 20 points. It's 200. Actually, it's creeping up on 30. That's 30 points now. $300 or 3,000 on a single gold contract, which is more than enough to blow even a 100K account. Just make sure you guys aren't going over the size on gold. Doesn't make sense to me how past all 5 accounts, there you go. What'd you end up taking, Freedom? Shorts on SPY or shorts on MNQ? If you tell me shorts on gold, I was going to say. There you go. All right, what accounts are those? Are the Tradeify Growth, Lucid Pros? One flip day away from another Apex payout. There you go, Daniel. How much is this one going to be? Yeah, give it a, when you pass the account, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 15. Yeah, it's only when you pass it. It takes like another 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, just keep refreshing it. Once you do fund it, they'll be immediately funded. So you might even be able to take the IB trade with the funded accounts today. Ally. Okay, I did say it right. Nice. 4,500 last payout to receive 5,000. There you go, Daniel. Great job. What's up, Zinc? Do you follow any fundamental news as part of your trading setup, or do you strictly focus on technical analysis? The only way that I follow fundamental news, I don't trade it at all. I do look for it. I forgot to pull this up this morning, so thank you for saying that. We have 10 o'clock data today, and that's it. So when we have this data, when we have fundamental news, I just don't get into trades. I avoid being in a position during that time. We're almost up to the 30 funded. I'm 730 away from passing these Tradeify selects, and then we're going to go and get the daily payouts on these. I did see quite a few people trying to say that I should go and take I'm going to pull up the the rules for it right now. No. Okay, whatever. Counts and rules. So a lot of people were trying to say that I should have taken I should take, when I pass these, I should take the Tradeify Select instead of the everyday payouts. So what I want to emphasize here is I'll probably try the Bolt accounts. I'm definitely going to have funded next on the radar, but for right now, I'm not going to be adding any more. For the 50K accounts, profit target 2,500, 2,000 in a day drawdown, 40% consistency. So it's 3 days to pass regardless. But once you get to the funded account, okay, oops, I'm on the evaluations. I need to find the select accounts, the rules for the select accounts. There we go. So the flex account, the one that gives you higher payouts, you have to hit 150 minimum profit day, and it's 5 days for each payout. Obviously, that's the downside as opposed to everyday payouts. But I see the biggest issue here being 150 is what you have to make. Whereas if you go to the everyday payouts, because they're every day, you just need a buffer. These ones are essentially the same as the 25K pro accounts. Even though I more than likely will not be taking an everyday payout on these unless I start going in with crazy size, these ones not required to have a minimum profit day. So I could take $20, $50 days. I could take $40, $50 days. I could do $20, $100 days. No trades in the first 15-minute candle, but this is lining up damn well for these shorts with Qs taking previous day's low. And that's this white line, 631.82. We should have taken some shorts on SPY. That's okay. SPY is, yep, we just took out previous day's low. Thank you. 693.94 taken out. Now we're probably going to go all the way down to that Newsweek low, 692.40. It's another dollar drop. How many points could we have just capitalized on? Probably not going to trade on Tradeify, not Apex today, so we'll get rid of that one. But we could have definitely just at least taken a little bid there. 20 points. Damn. Oops. Oops. I'm currently copy trading 3 of them. I pulled out 5K this week. There you go. Very nice. So the funded next bolts, they sound like they're pretty much exactly the same as the Tradeify Select. With Replicanto 1 micro. There you go. That's some pretty good size you caught in the downside move too. I'll go down to the 1 minute, see what. So you got in pretty much right at 633 and you got out at 630.84. Nice. Very good. All right, so for today, what we're going to be looking for, we already took our inside bar stat, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Ideally, we want to see a move up and then back down. Up and back down. We want to see IB 50. It's only been the first 15 minutes, so we're not missing anything by not taking shorts. Should have taken some shorts with the target being that previous day's low, but is what it is. Thesis was there, just didn't execute on it. Yeah, there you go, Freedom. Told you updates just a little slow once you pass them. I took MES inside the previous day's low. There you go. Very nice. That inside bar stat is incredible. I love it. Gap filled. Qs was a little bit better with that immediate wick to the upside. It was pretty apparent that we were going to go take that low. Just didn't capitalize on it, unfortunately. Hindsight, again, hindsight always being a little bitch. Gold also just had another. It's coming up on, it was just wick back up to 55.60. So this is a 40-point wick back to the downside. I want to make sure that I'm not going in with any size on this today. We'll probably do on these Tradify accounts for today. We'll be trading Tradify and Lucid. Lucid, I will be capped at making another 150. So these ones we don't really need any size with. These are funded accounts as well. So these ones will just take we'll take the IB trade once it forms. This is a really strong wick with a sweep of previous day's low on both SPY and Qs. They might get a V shape all the way back up here. Either way, what this reminds me of, I always like bringing this one up for example. Anyone remember the Friday 4 weeks ago now, that we were impatient? I'll pull it up on Qs actually. This one's a little bit better. We were impatient on the IB. We didn't think it was going to pull back. So we got in a little bit early and ended up taking 2 losses because of it. Another great example right here as well on Wednesday, January 14th. So with the sweep that we just had, very likely that we get a V shape, a very strong V shape back up. This is probably going to be most similar to this Wednesday right here. But there was a Friday. If I can go back and find it. This was one that we took a nice win on. Where's the Friday? This one right here. Friday, January 2nd. So this was looking pretty desolate for price action. No upside whatsoever. And then it ended up putting in a $2 wick or $2 body candle, $3 wick. Came all the way right back up to 50%. And then the very next candle was a $5 drop. So that would be most similar to what we would be expecting today. Could take one at previous day's low right now. Target down to that low. I think it's a little too early on the IB. A little too volatile today as well. 26,000 did just reject. That's probably a pretty good short entry right there, actually. And that should line up with 7,000 on MES too. Just about 6991. This would have been a nice short. It's okay. Definitely looking short bias today. Gold, obviously we don't trade that during New York, but for MNQ and MES, we'll be looking short. You're in gold. Did I read that right? Let me rub my eyes. Hold on. KPs and gold shorts. I don't believe my eyes. The world's upside down. Yep. %, so you don't even really have to worry about it. It's you have to trade for 5 days anyway. The 40% consistency, easiest one to get, especially with the way that you've been trading if you're just doing micros. Yes, yeah, that's to get the max payout. You have to get, I think the 50Ks have a $1,500 buffer on them. Oh, you don't have to hit it in 5 days, but if you want to get the payout in 5 days, then you could. Exactly. Yeah, and then after you get to 1,500, anything over 1,500 is the profit for you to withdraw. Exactly. Isn't the no activation fee incredible too? Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Man, I gotta start. For those ones, you do have to pass with urgency, because if you don't do it by the end of the promo, then you have to. If it's the 25K accounts, it's okay. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I did with those ones. I gotta start pulling the trigger today. That was a pretty good thesis for shorts at previous day's low too, and we just missed another probably 20-point setup. $100 on one. That would have maxed me out for the day. It's okay. It's okay. I shorted 1 ounce of gold. I can't afford the micros. How'd you do that? I mean, right now everything is. There's a reason the CME is upgrading every margin requirement that you need to trade precious metals right now. And there's a good reason for it. Like a singular contract on silver, you need what they update to. Does anyone know? I know the last one was like $80,000 for one silver contract. Which, if you think about it, makes no sense how prop firms are still allowing you to trade silver overnight. But it is all a simulated environment, so it doesn't matter. I think it's got to be up to 100,000 plus for a singular silver contract. Jeez, I'm getting, ever since putting my number in to look for health insurance, I've been getting calls every hour on the hour. It's ridiculous. And it's like 2 or 3 numbers all at once. Good old private health insurance. It does look like we're putting in a pretty strong pivot on the 15-minute. 5-minute doesn't look all that good, but 15-minute looks pretty good. Yeah, so for the Lucid accounts, Freedom, trade exactly for the 100Ks. Sorry, not the 100Ks, the 50Ks you're trading on, you will need to hit $100 for it to qualify for a trading day. But if you trade exactly how you just did, then you'll get a max payout in just under 3 weeks. Yeah, but don't worry about hitting the 100. Just know that for that P&L you just posted, the 13th, the 16th, the 19th, and pretty much all the other days following that, but today would have counted for a qualifying trading day. You only need 5 of those to get the payout. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Ron just said it's 100. He thinks it's 125,000 for one silver contract. I wonder how much money Brett Simba's got going into that, because he's been doing like. Well, he was doing that when I was trading at 70, not now. But I know the last one he did was like 63 contracts short overnight on silver. Which, if it was trading at 70, that means he had to have been putting well over $3 million in that position, which is ridiculous. Or maybe not well over 3 million, but he had 3 million in backing to it. Wow. All right, if we get a pullback, we do. Just gonna wait for the news at 10. Hopefully, we get a pullback up to previous day's low again. Then we can go short. Ideally, we get IB 50, but we're probably gonna take it on ES today, MES today. Just so you guys know, because the range that we have on MNQ, we go and draw this in. Fibonacci levels. The range that we have on M and Q for today is well over 150 points. So yeah. So we're actually sitting on 150 on the dot for the range today. So probably not. That's a $300 move on 1 micro. So if we do take it on Tradeify, it's going to be, with it being on the evals, it's going to be 2 micros that we take. And then for MES, we'll also do 2, but for the Lucid account, we'll do 1 because it's funded. So just 5 contracts in total, 5 MES, and then on Tradeify, we'll do 2 contracts, 2 MES or 2 MNQ. And the reason that we are doing that, anyone want to answer it before I do? Or just think it in your head? Why would we be sizing down to 2 as opposed to doing 3 micros? And it should be because the market is giving us a much larger range today, much larger range to trade. If it doesn't stop free falling, that is. There's 2 minor points at 10. Even though they're very tiny, they're still relevant. Factory orders and wholesale inventories, they'll give us probably like a 0.2% wick, if that. Why don't you use Copy Trader? Are you more comfortable trading on Tradeivate? I don't use a Copy Trader yet. I will look to use one once I get up to the 50 accounts. For right now, I do like trading the accounts a different way on each one because they ultimately are different accounts. IB stat not good for Thursday if SPY and Qs if IB form first. I think we can probably make an exception for today. I highly doubt we're going to go and pivot all the way back up to 633. If we do end up pivoting all the way back to 633, then I don't even know what to say. I'm much more comfortable trading on Tradeivate, yes. Wow. And no reason to be looking for a long whatsoever today. I should have taken that retest that previous day's low. Ended up being our IB 50 for today. Previous week's high. Thank you, Tevin. Yeah, we're well below midnight open. We're below previous day's low. We're below the wick low that we made for news. I should have pulled the trigger at that previous day's wick back to the previous day's low we got at 629, and even the one that we got up to 693.94. A little disappointed that I didn't, but definitely do not. Wow, our range is all the way up to 200 points now on the IB. Breakout by levels. Yeah, for today though, before I even look at it, Mike, I will say that our chance of going to hit half a standard deviation even today with the size of the IB we're looking at right now, this is almost $10 already on Qs once it loads. That means that our half a standard deviation would be us pushing down another $5 from where we are right now, all the way down to 619. So pretty unlikely that we go and hit that. Once the IB breaks today, I'm assuming I've seen enough of these large trend days to know that it will probably do something like this. It will fake out a lot of people into longs later in this afternoon, and then it will probably have a pretty massive drop come 1 or 2 o'clock. But the way that we trade this, KP is rich now, by the way. Great shorts, KP. What's up, R2? How you doing? How much you end up making on that short? Ridiculous short. Great job, KP. Great job being able to flip too, by the way. You always long gold, but you just probably caught a almost 100-point drop, didn't you? NQ didn't go to new highs. Oh, that was the gap that we're looking at. Filled the gap right away, and then I think that previous day's low was just too close for it. Kind of stunk. Oh, everything is in the dumps right now. Literally everything. Oh man, I should have shorted when we got to that. That would have been a great play. Probably wouldn't have held it this whole way. We definitely would have sold at the IB low. But please, please, please do not look to long anything today. You guys will be tempted. I can almost guarantee. I don't know how bad that is to say. I have a strong confluence in us. I don't know which word I want to use. I bet that we're going to that. There we go. That sounds a little less guarantee-y. We will most likely go and pivot back up towards like 627, and this will take probably an hour and a half. This will give people an inkling that we're probably going to go and push higher. A lot of people will look for a V shape. They'll go longs if they're not already blowing their accounts right now. This pullback that we're going to get will be your entry to rejoin in the short. So don't get confused today if we have a pretty nasty pullback. We're looking for a pullback to the upside to go short to, by the way, but do not get confused today if you see price do something like this. This is a nice bear flag that will form. It'll make it look like price is about to break to the upside, and then come 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we're going to have another continuation and probably go all the way to the low. For that stat you were looking at, Mike, for Thursday, and the range that we're looking at right now is well over 0.9%. This is like a 1.5% range on the IB. For our continuation 2.5, I bet it's very, very unlikely. Everything's in the dumps, man. Correct, Mike. So we probably will not be getting a sizable continuation once this loads. Yeah, we've never, with a Thursday of this size, we've never even had. There's no data for this. So that means that none of the Thursdays that have formed this large of a range have made a continuation. The last Thursday that we had like this was 12-11, and that one didn't hit any of the standard deviations. I bet. Okay, you can send me notifications. I bet this is a pretty good example right here. This one is tiny compared to what we're getting right now. Continuation up, this was a 622 to 626. So this is only $4, and we're looking at like 12 right now. There's one that I can find. There we go, right here. So the last time that we had this large of a move, 622, we dropped all the way down to 610. So a $12 drop for the IB. you can see it pitted out for the rest of the day. And I'm sure there were like, this seems small, but this was a $3 pivot that we had. We went from 610 to 613.50. And that probably convinced a lot of people we were going back long. We were going to get a V shape, and then it ends up crashing right back down. I have a very vivid memory of the last time this happened, and I was unfortunately not playing with the trend, and I was actually playing COD while it was happening. Funny enough, I was playing prop hunt on COD. Wednesday, December 17th. No relief whatsoever. It just continued to free fall for the entire day. So we're more than likely going to have this continue. The only thing that we can get is maybe if we're blessed, we get a pullback up to short into. Hopefully in the next 5 minutes or 15 minutes. The 5-minute candles look a lot better to short. 15-minute makes it a little more deceiving that it's going to pivot. Gold is also free falling. $5 drop, finally. This 5-minute candle on gold was just 75 points again. Insane. Can you hear me now, Rebo? Hopefully. COD in 2026. Yeah, I know. Crazy thing. Crazy thing. I will say, KP, it sucks. The new COD's awful. Missed out on another 400 on one micro. It's the way the cookie crumbles, man. If you knew how much money I missed out on last night with gold, each one of these pullbacks, I added on Lucid, I had an ad all the way down at 5,500 on the dot. And it was after this wick low formed. We came back up over 5,500. I went long, and I sold it at like 55.26 and missed another $300, even though it looks pretty tiny. It was a 30-point move. That's how it's going to be trading gold now. We will be missing a significant amount of profit. Please, please, oh generous market makers, give us a pullback to short. I missed my entry at previous day's low. Please, please. Okay. So if there's no pullback, there's no short entry. This is the post I'm putting out right now. But please, please, please do not look at this price action today and say, no way it's going lower. I'm short or I'm longing right now. Do not fall into that trap. Gold is in an utter free fall right now. That's a 100-point 15-minute candle. That's $1,000 on one micro. If you guys think that you can't pass a eval in one day with micros, this is the type of day that you would. But we need pullbacks on all of these things to go short. Did we have any news, or was this all because of FOMC yesterday? Had to have all been because of FOMC, right? About to double down on MSTX. Should I put the full payout, the full Apex payout on it, bull nuts? Missed out on another 401 micro. I should have held to my TP. I was kind of mad because I was right on the NQ direction, or wasn't right. Yes, please, another 100K. I don't have 100K to put on. I'll put the full 30 on it. You hope you get pulled back. Invite link to the Discord not working. If you copy and paste it into the browser, it might work. I do have to keep reload. Sometimes it works for some people, sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't even want to give us a small pullback. No. I messed up by not taking the entry at low here. This was a $4 drop on SPY. I'm not even going to trade 2 micros on gold today. No point. NQ 1.5 standard deviation from open is around 25, 743 area, so it may pull back from there. Does that word even exist? What is this pullback you speak of? This is ridiculous. Please. Please. Please, I beg. This is 3 back-to-back 15-minute candles with no wick on the bottom of them and no retracement. But we are going to make sure that we stay patient because we should get a nice pop coming up. We're not going to long the pop. Hell no. We're going to look for it to short. I almost just took a cheeky little short on gold right there. 1 micro, it would have been $400. I might have gotten stopped out if we put 5 points on. Today is probably good to trade a 1 micro gold short and then have like a 10-point stop on it. But green candles are going to be a rare occurrence for the day. A little too early on Qs. No, RSI. Probably non-existent. I don't even think I have it on anymore. I don't. Yeah, I don't have RSI anymore. RSI wasn't really doing that good for me anyway. Oh my gosh, man. I should have taken that short on gold. Holy smokes. It's another $500. This move right here would have passed my account. 1 gold short. 5414. About to make another 100-point drop. Patiently waiting on a pullback. I hope it comes. I know that once we're out of this range, there's probably not going to be anything else coming today. Silver long incoming. Coming in. Wow. That's a one silver contract. This is a $70,000 move to the downside. This is what happens when everything's too extended. Kind of glad that I've been listening to myself. I mean, I do wish that I was in better holdings for the 10K and 100K account that we have, but I'm glad that I didn't get antsy and move over to TSLA and NVDA because this would have been even worse. Yeah, we have it's the largest IB I've probably ever seen. Just one pullback, please. I was so close to taking a short there on gold. I definitely would not have held it for that full 1,000, but you know what? I might try a short right here. A little 10 point. Let's try one. Am I going to regret this? Ooh. Rejected. What happened? Buy 5 stop. Definitely going to. Ooh. That's why we don't play with gold during New York. Oopsie. Ooh. Oh, well. Break a rule, get reminded real quick. Bro is going to delete weeks of progress. What do you mean? Me? Fastest stop loss in history? I mean, yeah. A little too tight of a stop loss because look at it now. That would be $200 profit on that one micro. And that's okay. Rules are reinforced again. That short you entered? No. For one micro to blow that much progress, you'd have to either enter it and then just leave. Not your trading style. This is how I was trading last night, believe it or not. That should have been $100 stop, but the order got rejected for the stop loss because it wicked up so much. I mean, the thought process was right. Just a little too tight for a stop. Well, if you did notice, though, I didn't do that on the funded accounts I was on Tradeify. We'll be looking for a short coming up here on SPY and Qs once they rebound a little bit. Get me off that chart. I'm ashamed of myself. Yeah, it was worth it. I remember no gold during New York. No tilting off of that. No tilting. Hey, this might be our entry here, folks. 25.8 for a rejection. Let's try two MNQ short on Tradeify, right? Yes, I am. Now, what do I want to put for a stop on this? 50 points seems a little wide. 80 points. We can put an 80-point stop on it. So we'll buy 2 at our take profit will be IB low. Buy 10 limit. So we'll do short 2. A little early on it. It's okay. I don't think we're going to get a better pullback than this. I'm trying to stay patient. 2 winning days away from my first payout again. Yeah. Don't do anything silly. Short 2M&Q to IB low. This will be a 100-point move if it does get the short that we're looking for. It's already at 30 points, which is crazy. Holding composure. So short 2M&Q to IB low, 40-point stop on it. If we were on a funded right now, this would be a 1 all day. Probably 1 M&Q, 1 MES, I mean. SPY should do the same thing. We could take the same trade on 1 MES. And then have, it's not really that big of a reward. I'm probably not going to touch these ones today either. This is moving violently today. I think if this ends up losing too, then I'll probably also just call it for the day before I do anything stupid. This movement's a little too fast. Or we could take one more on the IB. Oh, we'll see. Movement's a little fast to be confident on. Or stay size down with it. So we have pretty much right at entry right now, and we have this short. Stop loss is just below the low of this candle. Stops right there, and then take profit is at IB low. So about a 2 risk reward on this. Could pull back a little bit more. But I'm going to try to maintain the short bias with the trend. And if this one hits, this will be 400 profit, so it will wipe that gold trade, that little mistake, which wasn't really that bad of a mistake. Shouldn't have been as bad as it was. But it was a silly little mistake. Damn, XRP's in free fall. Everything on my watch list, everything on every watch list is in free fall. Sorry about that loss, guys. It wasn't that bad. It's not something I would have done on a funded. Silly though, but I mean, thought process was right. This would annoying little stop loss on it, but still like a 400-point move, $400 move. Sorry. All right, M&Q, stop messing around here. I do kind of want to take it on 1 MES, and that would hit my profit target for the day. And I have like a 1-to-1 on it. 15. We leave it as is. That's what we have open right now. I think it peaked at like 130. Let's see. Ended up going down 40-ish points. So 160 was what we peaked at there. It would have put us green. I'm going to leave the stop as it is right now. It might be a little tight. Oh, man. Trend trading. Tricky. New low on gold, too. Son of a gun. That would have passed the account, too. Now we're creeping up to red on M&Q. Definitely not going with any size today, by the way. This is probably the max I would do. Oh, this is what I was saying this morning, KP. It's going to make it look, it's going to look like longs are favorable because there's going to be, it's going to have a strong pivot, caught off guard, whatever it might be. You're saying SMT with YM. It's going to look like longs look good, or V shape looks good, trick people into longs, and then it's ultimately gonna just continue to crash. So don't be fooled. Oh my gosh. All right, take everything back. I'm mad now. $130 points. How much did it hit the stop by? That's the real question. My God. 5,400 would have been the short. Ridiculous. All right, let's go ahead and secure that win. Got out for $195 win on that. Out for 195 profit. So made up for that little fumble. Took a good trade on the IB. And as difficult as it's going to be, this is probably going to be a walk away day. YM had a perfect 50% pullback. Any reason why you don't keep eyes on that? It's just another thing to trade. Oh. We're witnessing a $10 wick back up on gold right now. Are we serious? That stop out doesn't seem too bad now, does it, huh? What in the world is going on right now in gold? I did wick up to 5,400, so I would have been out regardless, but damn, had that held. 230-point drop in 15 minutes. Followed by a 100-point wick back to the upside in that same 15 minutes. What's the 1 minute look like? KP, you must be. Are you doing all right? Out for a winning day. There you go, Hot. You doing all right, KP? I'm not going to take another trade on this, but I am in genuine disbelief of what's going on with gold right now. Surely they got to halt it coming up here soon, right? They must have to. IB low is about to get taken, so we did end up missing like another 40 points on that, so $160. IB low taken out. So IB is done for the day. Exactly what I said. It's going to make it look like longs look favorable. It's going to show a V shape somewhat, even though we ended up only being 50 in the profit today. Should have been a lot more, but we'll skip that point. Made it look like longs were favorable. Just had, I mean, this was a 100-point move. It doesn't look like it was, but this move that we just had right here, 25,800 all the way right back down to 25,715. So IB's done for the day. No more trades on the IB. Should also take it on SPY, but oh well. Now, what I was covering, your question, Mike. Done for the day, 270. Very nice. Good news is most of you guys probably weren't able to get that gold short. If you did, I am so sorry. That was some zinc shenanigans. Bear your mic's on. I can't. Oh, there we go. I just had to scroll down. I'm an idiot. Found it again. That was some zinc shenanigans I probably shouldn't have partaken in, but oh well. This is, each one of these wicks is $700 on one micro, so please do not find yourself trading a full gold contract today. Now going over to the potential that we get a continuation. Our IB's formed. This is what our half standard deviation is, 617.26. Got my pullback. That was a fast trade. I don't know what all these gray numbers on here are, but I need to buzz off. IB remains goated, baby. Realistically, it should have just been a $200 day right there. But, oh well. Back to 25,800. Patience is key. It is. How'd you end up doing today, Rolo? I'd say we did pretty well. I'm not too disappointed by that gold trade. I'm disappointed that I got stopped out now, obviously, but the momentum is definitely just going to be shorting. Gold should be halted here very soon. This is a 9% pivot from where we opened today, which is bizarre in all aspects. Made 200 today. Thank you. No problem. No problem. Very happy with that short. Now, it seems tiny, but that was 100 points that we just got. I did sell early, sadly. Should have held it for the full TP. Would have made another 160. It's okay. Just make sure you guys stay in the trend today. Do not try to inverse any of these moves, especially on gold. Do not in any aspect think that your one GC or one micro gold contract for a long is going to inverse what we're doing in price today. Small red tried to take a reversal earlier. Why is gold dropping so much? I think it's as simple as it's finally hitting its overextension level. This could be an event like we saw in October last year. It did the same thing, and then it ended up tailing down another 6%. So this would end up pushing gold all the way down. Gold, it doesn't really have a reason to be up here. Same with silver. The only reason that people are validating gold and silver being up where it is because it's the hot topic right now. So everyone is going and saying, oh, gold is doing this, gold's doing that, silver is going to go to X level. Where the heck did it go? Where's the chart? Did silver roll over? Or is silver still on H6? There we go. No, silver is definitely not on H6. It's all the way down to 107 now. So that bear that opened his position, his liquidation level is 125, but now he's up like $7 in the short. Crazy. I mean, it's man, that the fact that these two entries is negative 137 and then this happened, and now it makes that 137 look like nothing. Bizarre. Count my lucky stars today that gold trade didn't go worse. It's as simple as it just being a necessary pullback, Sam. I wouldn't say it's any like TA reasons or any fundamental. It's probably something to do with FOMC that we didn't read into yesterday, but it's a much needed pullback. KP. Oh man. Was that on an account that needed consistency, KP? Oh, he's not in here anymore. I'll tag him. %2 drop on Qs. Gold is it's another 100-point wick right now for fun. Don't get sucked into the FOMO today, please. Is there an issue with the Lucid website? Yeah, I think they're just experiencing so much volume. That's why everything's dropping as much as it is. Not in terms of the stocks, but Lucid they are having issues with their platform. You go on their Discord and the CEO just commented that they're having some volume issues. $50% off resets today. I got you hot. Do you have an Apex code? I do not. Lucid's the only one that I have. This is ridiculous on gold. 1 minute time frame is making 40-point wicks. Bizarre. This is a 50-point drop right here. Wow. I'm in disbelief. I guess we might go down to 617. It's a good possibility. You're back hot. You're back in. Both gap downs, but different bias. Yeah, I don't understand how it gets. I don't use the what's in player screener like that for the gap downs. I have seen it say bullish sometimes, but obviously it's not bullish today. Not even close. I wouldn't really say gold is crashing, but this is definitely, it's probably going to have a 6% continuation. Whatever it puts in for a print today, it's probably going to continue that much to the downside. I made 900 to max up my combine with just 1 micro gold with close trailing. There you go. Everyone keeps buying those 25K accounts most popular right now, I'd say. Do you think I had any influence on that, Mike? Or I guess anyone in live, do you think I had any influence with my tweets on people buying the 25K accounts? I think a lot of people got blinded by the size of the payouts on like the 50K, 100K, mainly the 150K payouts. But I mean, for the 150K for any of the Lucid accounts, you have to make like 9,000 to pass it, and then make another 6,000 to get a $3,000 payout per account, which is insane. $15,000 profit to make 3,000 per account, so 15,000. I want to short gold so bad again, because I know it would pass the account immediately, but I need to hold the composure. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Switch because of you opening my eyes. The 25K accounts are the risk reward, the amount that you have to make versus what you're going to lose if you blow the accounts. Everything just lines up perfectly for them. It's beautiful. You like funded next, no set buffer. Seeing your little move compared to the real move. That's one of the worst things that you can do, Freedom. What's the next best account to buy with any push to pass? I would say Tradeify is the next favorite one that I have. Yeah, Lucid's Discord is saying that they have a crazy amount of volume coming in right now. So, I mean, it makes sense. Look at the move that we're getting on gold and think of how many people are trying to even if you're not longing it and you're shorting it. I just got burnt, and that was with 1 micro. So think of all the people that are probably doing the same thing that I just did, either trying to short it and gold. I mean, it's making 120-point wicks right now in the 5-minute time frame. This was a wick 52.96 all the way down to 51.63, so 130 points on the wick. 1 micro, that's $1,000, and that's even with a 50K account. That's enough to set you on tilt and blow it. So definitely excess volume on blowing accounts. The problem is that like nothing on 25K on 2 to 3 micros. The time you enter is the worst case. You're already down $2 to $200. Well, just trade a 1 micro then instead of 2 to 3. But we perfect example of what we did today. We traded 2 micros. Had I held it the entire time, that would have been a probably $400 trade. My entry was what, 25,807. IB low was at 25,715. So like a $380 trade. And then our risk was $160 in that. Pretty much 2 to 1. But if you're finding yourself trading gold right now, even again, 1 micro on gold, it's not a normal movement it's doing. Very happy that I was done when I was. Yeah, all these prop firms are going to be down. Tradeify per month. Yeah, that's the one downside to them. There might be 2 total prop firms that have a one-time payment. Everyone else is month to month, which kind of stinks, Freedom. If you're up for it, that's why I always say go back to Lucid. But I wouldn't worry about scaling too much right now, Freedom, because you're not at a payout yet with Lucid. I would say wait, just trade the Lucid accounts. You can copy trade them, or you can trade them one at a time. Trade the Lucid accounts, get a payout with that, and then once you get your payout, use that for other funded accounts. You're a little too early to worry about scaling up too much. If you did want to, you could go and buy the Apex while they have the sale, and it's $19 for the eval. You can YOLO the eval if you wanted to. Not that I would recommend that, but it's $19, $65 to activate it. So all in, it's like 81 or 84. Sorry. Those would be the next cheapest ones. Tradeify doesn't have an activation fee. The 50K select accounts, those ones are like $100, I think. So those ones would be, those are the next most similar to the 25Ks for Lucid. I would still stay away from Top Step. It is 87, but it's monthly, and I haven't seen all that much good media on them. The most recent one was that one that they denied a payout, but too early to pick sides on that. It is a little odd that they would let him purchase the account still and then go and say that he used 100+ different credit cards, which I don't know how anyone would be able to do that unless they're using like visas from Walmart. What's the most trades you've took in a day? Oh, geez. Probably, I think I have a YouTube video that has the post on it. I think I took like 160 in one day or 130 in one day. No, it wasn't tilt. Let me pull up the YouTube video actually. I explained it in the YouTube video, so if you want to go and watch that, you can see why it wasn't tilt that I had on it. It was this video right here. So I had 100 and where is it? What's the thumbnail? Oh, sorry, no, it was 82. It was 82, which still is, I mean, it's still a lot, but 50 and 82. This was 132 trades over 2 days. When did I post this? Where's the date on this? Funny enough, this was the IB in London 50 strat too. Can I see when this posted? Published August 8th. Okay, so we can go back to August 8th. How many did I win? I think it was like 90% of them. They were all 1 micro trades. Once I show you the day, it's going to make sense. Oh, there we go. This is a great example of probably what we're going to get for the rest of the day today. So it's going to make it look, in this afternoon, 12 o'clock, calling it now, probably going to look like something like this, where it looks like it's going to pull back, and then it just ends up dumping more. So be on the lookout for that later. August 8th, August 8th, August 8th. Is that as far back as my chart goes? August 8th. One of these days down here. August 5th. August 6th. August 12th. So it had to have been this one. This was just a trend up for the entire day. Hot. So I think I added, it might have been a little tilt. These were all just 1 micro trades. These were on the 25K Pro accounts. I remember that when they were on Project X still. And I just took 1 micro, and every time it popped, I would secure it, came back down, pop, secure it, so on for the entire day. I probably did take every candle. But I mean, I'm not trying to say that have always been a perfect trader. Came out on the winning side of that one, but I think it's probably something everyone goes through. Oh, thank you very much, Mark. Hit the calendar button, the top right, bottom right right here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have any discounts on the membership? We do not. I said Lucid Pro is the one that I go with, AC. Lucid Pro. Tradeify Select Lucid Pro. Which IB indicators do you use? I'm an edgeful subscriber, although mostly use the orb until the videos. I have the edgeful IB by just the IB initial balance breakout. So that is indicator is invite only. It's this one right here. Oh, I already have it active, but it'll be just below the inside bars. It's the initial balance breakout. And I have the IB by levels as well, but you don't really need that one. What else did I miss? So you only target 150 a day? Yes. Yeah. Probably not going to take anything else today. We got lucky. I got lucky anyway. That gold trade didn't go worse. Obviously, in hindsight again, could have held it. Would have just made like $2,000 on one micro, which is insane to say. MNQ, solid setup on that. That was what we would take for the IB. Worked perfectly. NQ -2 standard deviation. It might go to half standard deviation. We're going to trend down for the entire day today. There's no question about that, which does suck, but definitely because of gold. How am I this disciplined? Because I am trading for a purpose. Trading for a purpose. I'm not on here to trading live does help definitely because we have how many people in here right now? Concurrent. StreamYard's being a little weird. We have 1,100 people in here. That's 1,100 people to judge me if I do something stupid. So that helps a lot. But I'm also trading for a purpose. So I'm not trading just to trade. And you guys see, if anyone has TikTok, you see a lot of people on TikTok that are just gambling on stuff. There's no reason for them to be in the trade. There's no reason for them to be happy or content with the profit they're making. So they always go for more profit, keep trading, and then they end up blowing more. Settings. The settings are just the only thing that I changed in the settings was the color, Nate. Everything else is the same. You activate middle level 2, and that one should be at 50%. So I'm able to stay, what's the word I want to go for? Emotionally attached to the trading because I'm trading for a purpose. If I tilt and I blow the accounts, then that puts my house at jeopardy. It puts my car, probably my relationship. Think about the stuff that gets put at jeopardy if you didn't get your paycheck this week from your car. Oh, I still get anxious too. Hot. That's never going to go away. I'm not a robot. How long have you traded the IB or the majority of your payouts because of that? I've traded the IB since June of last year is when I started getting really into it. Most of my payouts from October, November, December, most of my payouts were from the IB. The IB has been working as well, neither as the London 50. London 50 was an added confluence for shorts today, but the big one is just trading trends. So going over to gold, last night's great example. Looking for pullbacks. We did the same thing today, right? It was an added confluence on the IB. The main trade we took today was a short because we were just looking for a green candle to short. The one green candle we got, what do? We took advantage of that and continued to short to the downside. So the most recent payouts are mainly just off of playing the trend. How did your first payout feel when you? My first one was from Top Step Hot, and it was $7,800, and I celebrated it for like 2 weeks. And then the next one I got was like 10,000. What I will say, the payouts suck. Payouts from prop firms suck because once you get a payout, if you're not attached to the profit, if you're not attached to the accounts the same way you would be, as soon as you blow the accounts, which you will do, as soon as you blow the accounts after you get a payout, you are going to completely disrespect the evaluation phase because you want to get back to where you were. And then you end up just going on a downward spiral. You blow account, blow account, blow account. Now the payout that you got, you've spent that money right back on the prop firm that you got the payout from, and you're sucked in even more than you were before. And that's a spiral that I went down probably. It still happens occasionally. I mean, sometimes I go on really bad losing streaks with the evals, and I'll spend like $2,000 to $4,000. And the main reason I do that much is because I copy trade all 5, which is stupid, but I'll lose like 2 sets of 50K accounts or 25K accounts. But after you get the payout, you completely disrespect the evaluation phase. Did I get the 30K payout from Apex? I'm damn close. My window, because of the little tilt day that I had, my window is not until, I'm going to message Randy, by the way. My window is not until Tuesday because I had an 8-day delay on it. But I am $500 away, $450 away on one account, $500 away on the rest from a $30,000 payout. Right now, I could take $20,000 if I just flipped 2 more trading days. I can request it on Monday, which we'll see. I will probably end up taking the 20 and then just trade them again on the reason I'm thinking about taking the 20. I don't know. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. I kind of want to just keep trading the way I have been and not worry about. I haven't really been thinking about the payout. I've just been trading them. And then another bad thing you can do is think about the payout before you get the payout and think that you have the money before you get the money. And that way you end up tilting even more because you're like, I needed this. I just spent X amount of money. And then you end up tilting. And then it's a terrible, terrible spiral to go down. I'm damn close on those accounts. All right, guys, that will do it for the stream today. Make sure that you do not get sucked into trying to trade gold. I can promise you that will probably just lead to blown accounts. And that is why all these prop firms are having delays in their platforms right now, because so many people are blowing them. Get off the charts and get on Roblox. I don't play Roblox. I'll probably go play a few games of Age of Empires. I do have a YouTube video coming out, and I also, a little teaser for you guys. We have my course coming out this weekend. What's your win rate? I don't care about my win rate. It's a stat that you should not be focused on. But if you must, I'll pull up my reports. I actually haven't looked at this, so this could either be really bad or it could be really good. 66%. That's what my win rate is. Total profit 4,380. Total loss 1,533. Yes, Vlad. Course will be inside. Yep, that'll do it for the stream today, guys. No more trading from me. Signing off the chart for the day. Not going to get sucked into the volatility that we have present. How do you not tilt unfunded? Trading for a purpose. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great Friday. See you later.